Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, the place where South African politics gets unpacked, exposed, and explained. Today, we are diving into a hot topic that's been making waves across the country: Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's dramatic reversal on the proposed VAT increase. This decision isn't just about tax, it's about politics, pressure, and power plays in the lead up to South Africa's most uncertain election yet. Now, to give you the full picture, we've got to rewind a bit. For months, whispers had been growing louder that government was planning to hike value-added tax, or VAT, from its current rate of 15% to potentially 16% or even higher. This move was being framed as a necessary evil, part of a broader plan to plug a growing hole in the country's budget. With rising debt levels, low economic growth, and sluggish revenue collection, Treasury officials were desperate for new sources of income. But let's be honest, raising VAT is never a popular decision. It affects everyone. From food to electricity to basic goods, even a small increase can have a big impact, especially on the poor and working class. And in a country already battered by high unemployment, load shedding, and food inflation, this proposal struck a nerve. Opposition parties, civil society, unions, and even some members within the ANC quickly began to push back. The Democratic Alliance, in particular, wasted no time mobilizing against the hike. They framed it as an attack on struggling households and hinted at legal action. And just this week, we learned that the DA had actually brought in lawyers to explore a possible out-of-court settlement, a sign of just how far this standoff had escalated. Then came the bombshell. Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana, in a surprising about-turn, officially withdrew the proposed VAT increase. He confirmed that the rate will stay at 15%, citing consultations with political parties and feedback from key parliamentary committees. Let that sink in. This was a major reversal of a core budget proposal, the kind of decision that's not taken lightly. The implications are huge. First, let's talk about the money. Treasury had been banking on the VAT increase to bring in billions over the medium term. Without it, they're now staring at a projected revenue shortfall of around R75 billion. That's not pocket change. To fill that gap, Parliament will now need to revise expenditure plans, and that likely means spending cuts. The big question is, where will those cuts land? Will it be infrastructure, social grants, public sector wages? Or will we see yet another round of borrowing that adds to our already unsustainable debt burden? This also raises serious questions about the state of our fiscal policy. Can we really talk about long-term stability when major tax decisions can be reversed so quickly under political pressure? Now let's get into the politics, because make no mistake, this VAT U-turn is not just about economics. It's deeply political. The ANC is heading into a highly contested election, possibly its most difficult one since 1994. Polling data and on-the-ground sentiment suggest a major loss of support, especially in urban areas and among young voters. The rise of parties like the EFF, Action SA, and even Jacob Zuma's new Umkhonto we Sizwe, MK, party has fractured the ANC's traditional base. Every policy, every announcement, every speech is now viewed through an electoral lens. And increasing VAT just months before people head to the polls. That would have been political suicide. So it's no surprise that after consultations with party leaders, including those inside the ANC alliance, the government decided to pull back. This is classic pre-election damage control. A move aimed at softening public outrage and regaining a bit of goodwill from communities already disillusioned by years of corruption, unemployment, and service delivery failures. But it also tells us something about the pressure opposition parties are now able to exert. The DA's legal threat, whether symbolic or serious, combined with a well-timed public campaign, clearly pushed the ANC into a corner. And the timing of it all. Mere hours before a scheduled ANC meeting to discuss the VAT matter. That's no coincidence. It was strategic, and it worked. Still, not everyone is celebrating. Economists and financial analysts have warned that this decision creates new headaches for the Treasury. South Africa's credit rating agencies are watching closely. Any signal that government is compromising fiscal discipline for political gain could spook investors. And let's not forget, this isn't just about domestic politics. Global financial markets are watching how we handle our budget, our debt, and our economic planning. The VAT reversal also opens up a wider debate about how South Africa raises revenue in the first place. Should we be looking at taxing the ultra-wealthy more aggressively? What about closing corporate loopholes and tightening procurement corruption? Could we increase sin taxes, or revisit mining royalties? These are the kinds of structural debates we need to be having, but instead, we're stuck playing budget ping-pong in an election year. And what about the long-term implications for policy credibility? When a finance minister announces a tax hike and then walks it back under political pressure, what does that say to investors, to credit agencies, and even to citizens? Can we still trust that our economic policy is being guided by long-term vision, or is it all just about short-term survival? Of course, for many ordinary South Africans, the VAT decision is a relief, and understandably so. People are struggling. Petrol prices, electricity tariffs, and food costs are rising relentlessly. Any decision that keeps basic costs from going up further is welcomed. But that relief is also tinged with anxiety, because if VAT isn't going up, then something else might. And that something might hit just as hard. As always, in South African politics, nothing is ever simple. Every decision has layers, economic, political, and social. And this VAT saga is no exception. To wrap things up, this reversal isn't just a line item in a budget, it's a reflection of the tightrope the ANC is walking as it tries to balance governance with electioneering. It's a signal that opposition pressure is working, but also a warning that the deeper structural issues in our economy remain unresolved. And it's a reminder that, in this game of politics, even the most powerful players have to fold when the stakes get too high. So what's your take? Was the VAT reversal the right move, or a dangerous political compromise? Should the government have pushed through the hike to stabilize the budget? Or do you think this shows they're finally listening to the people? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, we want to hear from you. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss our next political deep dive. We've got a lot more coming as the elections heat up. Thanks for watching, see you next time.